Hello and welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more of the Flashpoint DLC for BattleTech. We just came out of a very successful Flashpoint where I got a Star League era mech, which I'm very excited for. But before we do anything else, let's check to see if there's any contracts in system that we'd want to do. Okay, so there is a travel contract, but that's not in system. And it looks like all the other contracts are too high difficulty for the reputation that we have with all the different factions that are offering them, so we're going to have to move on. Now the question is, where is that travel contract? Okay, it looks like it's over there. And I really don't want to go over that direction because I want to start doing more flashpoints. So let's look at what flashpoints we have available. So we have this one, which is at 3.5 skulls, 64 days before it expires. It's going to be House Davian. So this is one of the groups that I actually want to improve our relationship with. That's going to be against pirates. So I'm fine with doing that. Medium engagement. Consecutive deployment, yes. You get rare items, and there's no restriction. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. Also, I should look at how much time it takes to get here. So 13 days. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So 18 days. Again, Federated Sons are going to be the ones employing us against a mercenary company. Short engagement. No consecutive deployment. Rare items yet again. Light tonnage requirement. Lance tonnage maximum. One or more contracts in the Flashpoint limit the maximum overall lance tonnage that can be dropped into battle. Expect to drop at least one lighter lance, or one lighter faster lance. Okay. But this is a longer period of time before it expires, and it's only 3 skulls, so a little bit easier one there. 3.5 skull. It's a Lyran Commonwealth, or House Steiner. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Lyran maybe is probably closer to what it's supposed to be. In any case, against House Davian, so that's unfortunate. We would hurt reputation here. Short, yes for consecutive, rare items, but no restriction. And again, another 3.5 skull, and this is 20 days. Okay, so interesting. So this one's probably going to be good for us if we want to get that alliance without Steiner, but it would hurt, unfortunately, Davian relationship. But the other contracts were for House Davian. I missed. How many days was that? Let's just double check that. 80 days before it expired. Okay, so this one's the closest one to expiring. So maybe we do this one first. I mean, it is more difficult. Let's read what it is. So House Davian requests your assistance in the transportation and custodial exchange of a high-profile prisoner. Payment will be remitted when the asset is in our hands. Okay. I think we'll give it a try. I mean, it is medium length. We will have consecutive deployments. But as much as I think this is the one I'd more likely want to do first, it has a much longer expiration time. So I think we hit this one, then we hit this one. We should have plenty of time for that. Unfortunately, 13 days is not a lot of time to work with. So now that we know how much time we have, the question is, what do we want to do with our mechs? All right, let's take a look at the Griffin first. So we do have this loaded out. Now the ERPPC, it's 2 heat generating. I kind of discussed this in the last video, and I would replace that. Even if we would, oh, actually, let's look at what components we have. Okay, so first, what are its slots? It has 4 missile slots, so it's more missile heavy, and 2 energy slots. Okay, well, let's first start looking at the missile slot, see if we have anything cool there. Okay, not really anything that interesting in the LRMs. Also nothing really all that interesting. Yeah, okay, I'm out of all the upgraded SRM6s that are more meaningful. I mean, the upgraded damage. I have 1 SRM4, but that's not really going to cut it. So we'd probably have to swap things around to make this mech a little bit more effective. Okay, well, let's take a look at our energy weapons then instead. So, again, the up damage medium lasers are all being used. We could go with a large laser instead of that PPC. It'd give us a couple tons to work with. But, yeah, okay, I remember having this. So, we have the plus 30 stability damage PPC. So this will generate less heat. But that 50 stability damage, that's a lot of stability damage. Let's just compare that real quick to what an SRM would do, for example. So, an SRM6, which is what we've been using a lot of, that does 3 per missile typically. Now, we do have some that do more than that, like I think just +1, perhaps. I'd have to look at our other mechs, but +1, maybe +2. We'll say +1 on average, though. So that's 4 per missile. So you're looking at 24. So that's more than double the stability damage if we hit with that PPC. So that's a pretty good amount of stability damage from one weapon. And if we have SRMs on top of that, this one mech could do a lot of stability damage. So that's something to consider. Let's just compare that to, like, for example, our Griffin 1S. So we may want to swap missile systems around here, like even just remove everything from the Griffin and swap it over to the other Griffin. With that being said, though, yeah, +1 stability damage, +2 stability damage. So 5, yeah, so that'd be 30 total if all the missiles hit. And we have the +4 damage. So ideally, we'd want missile systems like that in the Griffin. And then we might not have to make any other changes other than that. It's got 2 SRM6s, which I really like SRM6s, and then it's got the PPC, which we'll change the ER PPC into a standard one with that extra stability damage. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I kind of like that setup. It's still going to be kind of a heat problematic mech. Because when you jump, it generates 10 heat. We're going to reduce the heat by 10, so that'll be 59. So you're looking at 69 every turn that it jumps and attacks, with obviously an Alpha Strike. But it does give us some long-range capability that we are a little bit lacking. Granted, it's direct fire, but still, that's good. And if we give it to a pilot that has that minimum range reduction, the minimum range of the PPC is not going to be a big deal. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, an ER PPC also has no minimum range, which is another advantage of the ER PPC. At least I seem to remember that being a thing. Yeah, it has no minimum range. Okay. Yep. But again, if we have that reduction, it won't matter anyway. All right, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But again, I'd have to swap out. So, like, for example, the Kintaro is a good candidate for that because we've got these SRMs that are plus damage and +1 stability as well. So we could swap those out. Question is, would that take too long? Well, there's one way to find out. I kind of hate getting rid of the Kintaro because it's been really good for us. I mean, the damage output is just outrageous. But I think that it might be what we need to do, because what would be the damage output of this thing? Might not be that great, honestly, because you're talking 120 plus 50. It'd be 170. So that's really not good. So if we want to go for a lot of damage, maybe that's not the right way to go. See, this is tough. Unfortunately, it's really tough. Really, swapping out the Griffin 1S to the Griffin 4N, you'd be at the same damage output, but you'd have the better heat efficiency. It would be where it would come down. Also, durability might be better as well. 920. Okay, it's the same. 920, 920. But still, I mean, if we look at this, how many tons would we save by getting rid of the PPC? It would be 7 tons. And then the Griffin would transfer over only 2 tons with the medium lasers. So you'd have 5 tons to play with. So you could put that all into armor. You could put it into another SRM6. So you'd have 3 SRM6s as opposed to 2. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities there. But the question is, can we do all of that work in time? So I think that's what we're going to do. I am going to swap out the Griffin's firepower here and move it over to the other Griffin. That's a little problematic, though. I don't know. What are our other choices if we don't do that? I mean, I like the Shadowhawk. The Shadowhawk is one of our higher damage dealers, and I don't think that it can really be improved much. So that we should stick with. Yeah. Now, if we put that in, that's 12. So we've got 72 damage times 2, potentially. That'd be 142. Plus the 50, you'd be looking at 192, which isn't too far off of the damage output of the former Griffin, but we would be reducing the damage of both of these mechs by doing so. This is really tough. This is really tough because you have to downgrade mechs to upgrade mechs, really, is what we're looking at. Another alternative is we have the Kintaro, just take all of the weapons from the Kintaro and put it in the Griffin. And then it'd be a more mobile, potentially more heavily armored. Let's see. 880, yeah. Oh, no, wait, no, we're on the wrong mech. Still 880. That's actually surprising. I thought the Kintaro had better armor than that. So it'd be a more heavily armored Kintaro. It's the same damage output. Alright, we'll give that a try. I mean, it does knock the Kintaro out of it. I'm sorry that's a lot of considering to do, but it's not an easy call. So let's just strip it all out for now. Well, I guess we don't have to strip everything. Because we can put standard SRMs in here so that the mech's still usable. And then this will actually tell me how viable this is, because we get an idea of how long the work will take. So we're looking at 4 days so far. 5 days. Okay, that's actually not bad. Obviously, we need to repair. So we've got our 4 SRMs still in there. It's not going to be as damaging as it once was. We're going to be down to 192, but that's still not bad for a backup mech. So that's what I'm going to go with. And then we'll put all that damage output into the Griffin 4N. So I'm hoping we're going to be looking at kind of a same or similar time frame to do that work. Okay. So standard SRM6 goodbye. Standard SRM6 goodbye. Let's just remove... Let's put the SRM ammo over here for a second. Because I'm going to put the heat sinks up into the torso sections. You know what? There is kind of a point to be said about keeping them in the legs, though. It means that you're less likely to lose all of your heat sinks at once. Man, there's not a lot of armor on those legs, though. All right, for now, let's just put them here. No, we can't do that because we gotta put the missile systems there. All right, so I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out where to put the ammo, but we'll figure it out. Let's grab the systems we want to look at. So we want the SRM6s, which we have 4 of, and we're gonna try and mount all of them because there is 4 slots here. Obviously, we're gonna be overweight for a bit, but we are gonna be removing that PPC. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one here. There we go. That's better. So we're looking at that 240 damage, obviously, once we remove this. So we have a ton to play with, and more than likely we're going to want extra ammo. Now, one change I could make here is remove an SRM6. I mean, our heat efficiency is amazing at this point. And then we put SRM ammo in both torso sections, like that. We have plenty kind of protecting it. Then we go over to our energy weapon systems. We've got 4 tons still to play. I think we go with medium lasers here, and I'll go ahead and take the ones that have the crit damage. Sure, why not? Okay. So we're looking at 230, so we've reduced our damage output. Heat is at 60, so we've improved there. We could grab another ton of ammo, which I'll do now. So that gives us a ton per launcher, which honestly is probably overkill, because what are we looking at? 18 missiles? And with 2 tons, that's 200 shots. Which is pretty good, but yeah, I think the 3rd ton probably is worth it. That gives us another ton to put into armor. Now, I'm going to armor these legs because they look kind of low. As a matter of fact, that's it was a little bit of a weird number because normally it goes in increments of 5. And like, why are these set at 67? Okay, let's max out the arms. Or get close to it anyway. I may remove that SRM ammo because we may not need 3 tons. I mean, with 18 shots, you get more than 10 turns. You get into 11, and then you have a little bit left over of just constant firing. Whereas this gives you way more than that. Well, again, let's max out the arms. Yeah, these are just like weird numbers here. Trying to correct it. A lot of rear armor. Okay. Now we have those maxed out. Let's see if we can max out the legs here, or, you know, do something with the legs. Probably don't need this much rear armor. Then drop that down a little bit as well, go to 90. I may get rid of the SRM ammo, just give me more tonnage to work with for an ammo armor standpoint. But, I mean, what we're looking at here is really good firepower, decent heat efficiency, obviously not great range, and then really good armor loadout once we're done here. This may even be heavier than our Thunderbolt when we're all done. Okay, let's go up to 100 in the legs. So we're 90, 100, 120, 120, 150. Let's go up to 110. I mean, I guess we might as well max out the legs, right? Okay, so we're... You know what, let's go down 125, go up. There we go. So we got 125, 125, 125, 125, 150. And right now our durability is at 1080 armor. I mean, this looks darn good. And we could also increase his damage if ever we got better SRM6s. I mean, I do have better SRM6s, but I'd have to reduce damage somewhere else. So I think this is looking good. It's something that take 5 days to do. We could put one of the heat sinks in the center torso. That would protect it more. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Let's put that in there. That would protect it more from damage. Okay, looking good, looking good. Let's go ahead and confirm that selection. And confirm.
Logged and noted.
Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have taken the one system out of the Griffin 1S. Because I think this mech is going to replace the Griffin 1S. With how much damage it does? Yeah, alright. You know what? I just want to do something real quick. I want to go into the Griffin 1S, because now that I think about it, this would be a better mech, I think. So let's do that. I'm going to grab the one SRM6, because we have additional ones anyway. So we'll get the +2 damage one. I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay. And then grab the rangefinder, remove it. I guess we could go with like the comm system. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad choice. Still a decent scout. So we dropped the damage a little bit, down to 185. As a matter of fact. Let's drop that even further. Okay. I think this is the better call, because I think this mech's just going to be so much better than the previous Griffin. I will grab these two. Yeah, sure. I kind of feel like I'm going to regret that, but... Okay, so now we're down to 170. So we dropped that damage pretty dramatically, but this will still be a decent backup mech in case we absolutely need it. And we can put this SRM ammo into the leg like the other one was. I'm actually confused at why it was set up that way. Alright, so that'll take 3 days to do. Alright. Then we'll grab the Griffin 4 and finish it. Okay. So let's go to our missile systems. Actually, let's do the energy weapons first. So we've got the +5 and the +10 damage. So this will increase the damage output even more. Then we're going to go to the missile systems. Now we have the higher damage output SRM-6, which is nice. I'll put that over here because we're only going to have that. This got all messy. Actually, let's do it like that. There we go. And then we're going to do... What happened to that one double heatsink? There it is. Not sure why it got removed. I guess it's because I moved it. Okay. Then our other 2 missile systems. 1, 2. And then we need 1 ton worth of ammo. Which more than likely I put in here. Okay. That looks much better. So we're looking at 257 damage output now. That is pretty damn good. Same amount of heat. Okay, 6 days now. Oh, before I forget. Let's grab that rangefinder. I like that ability. Okay, so this is actually the highest damage output mech that we have, and I'm not really sure I want this as my scout now, but alright. We'll go with that for now. I mean, it won't hurt to have that rangefinder. I think I would rather have the cockpit mod in this, but it is what it is. Okay, so obviously we want the work to make a little bit more sense here. So I'm thinking this is the Griffin here. And then the Kentaro is there, and then we have the other Griffin. You know, I didn't check if all the jump jets were there. I sure hope they were. Well, I guess we have the time in case it comes down to that. Are these mechs loaded out? Oh, they are. Wow, interesting. I didn't notice that at first. Okay, so we've got a full lance of light mechs if we absolutely have to do that in that one thing, because we've got 2 fire starters and we've got a Jenner and a Panther, and they're all ready to go. It's a default Panther, which isn't ideal, but oh well, it'll still be alright. We could load that up for the old LRM-20 setup that we had in the past. Alright, I'm not thinking I'm going to do any more work because we're not going to get that work done in time anyway. And I already spent enough time waffling around on what I was going to do, so I think we just get going now. And that's going to require me to pick our location. So just double check. Yeah, that's the location we want to go to. Let me just do that. Travel.
By your command.
I didn't check the engineering bay to make sure that we're doing work. I guess we'll find out here in a second. Yeah, that'll be done in 5 days.
Got a new financial report for you, Commander.
Okay, we do have the financial report. Oh, I forgot to check. I was going to check that store. Oh well. It's done now. I'll go just with normal. We're at 45. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, I definitely meant to check that store. My bad. At least I don't think I checked it. Melee in the mech bay. You're speaking to Yang in the mech bay when the yelling starts. Across the bay, a pair of your mech warriors face off and in front of a battle mech. You get there just as Truck pulls back to throw a punch at Wasp. Alright, send them to settle things in the simulators. Raise your voice and both mech warriors turn to you. Truck's fist relaxing. If you mech warriors have a dispute, go settle it with battle pods. Frankly, you both need the practice. The mech warriors grumble and wander off. A year later from Yang that the sim battle between Truck and Wasp drew a huge crowd. Those warriors both treated their sim battle like real war, boss. And by the end of it all, I think they kind of forgot what they were fighting about. Okay, so they both get experience. Great. Alright, one more day.
Those upgrades you asked for are online, Commander.
Alright, let's go into the engineering bay. Alright, there's not a whole lot left for us to do. We've got improved automation or the machine shop, and I had already discussed that I want to do the machine shop, so we'll do that.
I'll get the team on it right away.
Okay, let's go back into the traveling. Now, if I made a mistake and I moved the wrong Griffin around, I don't think I did, but if I did, it's not going to take that much longer to get it, so. But that Griffin 4N is going to be a big upgrade over what we had. A lot more damage output than the previous Griffin. A lot better armored. Alright. Before I do anything else, I should go to the store because I forgot to do that in the other location. I'm not sure if I had already looked. Oh, there's nothing here. Alright. Must be a token population in this area. Okay, well, let's take a look at our mech warriors, make sure we're ready for this future contract. Alright, so all the pilots are back and healthy. That's good. So I can get the last level of piloting if I want, which gets my max evasion even higher, which I think is probably a good idea. Yeah, out of all the things we can do, that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Mech warrior training complete.
Awaiting orders.
Harley also has some experience to burn. So what can we do with that? Gunnery skill, piloting skill, tactics. You know what? I think tactics is the one that makes the most sense because the indirect fire penalty. And we've been using her to pilot the Thunderbolt. Although, that being said, we now have that Orion and it's fully kitted out, so we could use it. So I'm going to have to evaluate that to see if that's a mech we want to use. But still, with LRMs, it makes a lot of sense to get that indirect fire penalty down. Although, alternatively, we just get a higher accuracy altogether. Or higher melee damage. I mean, there's no wrong answer here, but I think we go with the tactics here.
Training complete.
Okay, we've done Gnarly, we've done that. We may have a follow-up engagement too, so I should level up my secondary pilots as well. So, Revere has no level ups to do.
Yes, boss.
Scarecrow does have level ups. Guts, health, not really needed. Probably take the accuracy bonus.
Training confirmed, Commander.
Okay. So we're done with that. Let's move on to Toxic.
Receiving you.
Okay, so Toxic has a lot of things that would be good. Called shot bonus, max evasion, better accuracy. I'm gonna take the accuracy because his accuracy is kind of bad at the moment.
Mech warrior training complete.
Finally, Truck. Okay, so Truck has that much, +2 health. Get more sprint distance. That might be worth it. So I think I'm going to go with that. I mean, alternatively, we just wait until we get more tactics. But then again, we're going to have consecutive deployments, possibly. So I think we just take the piloting now and use its benefits.
Training complete.
Okay, that should be everybody
Here.
that we would want to use, unless something really extreme happens and we lose just about every pilot. We've got plenty of backups. Okay, so let us take a look at well, I might as well load in the contract, see what else is here. We're probably going to wrap this video up before we do anything here because we're at that time limit. Okay, there's just one mission. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's going to be against the Federated Sun, so not sure I want to take this at the moment. But I'm going to have to put in my best effort on this mission. It's a 3.5 skull mission, so it should be difficult. We can rock at least a couple heavy mechs, though. So that may mitigate it a little bit, some of the risk. Not sure how I'd load that out, though. I'd have to think about it. But in any case, we'll worry about that in a future video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.